Have you ever wondered if you truly control your decisions? If your thoughts, preferences, and beliefs are the product of logic? Or if something else, something hidden, is quietly steering your life? Every single day, without realizing it, your brain takes shortcuts. It bends reality. It edits your memories. It alters your perception. It even decides for you, long before you're aware of choosing anything. These invisible mental shortcuts are called cognitive biases, and they shape your relationships, your career, your confidence, your fears, your habits, your purchases, and even your moral beliefs. And here's the terrifying part. You can't feel them. You can't see them. But they are happening every single moment. Today, we're going to open the door your brain keeps closed and explore the psychological mechanisms that secretly control your life. The human brain evolved for survival, not accuracy. Your ancestors didn't need logical reasoning to survive. They needed speed, instinct, and quick conclusions. To conserve energy, the brain uses heuristics, mental shortcuts. They work fast. They are usually right. But they come at a cost. They distort reality. And these distortions, these biases, run silently in the background of your mind, shaping how you think, judge, remember, and act. Today, we'll explore the 10 most powerful cognitive biases that influence your life without your permission. Bias number 1, confirmation bias. Your brain loves being right, even when it's wrong. Confirmation bias is your mind's tendency to search for information that matches what you already believe and ignore anything that contradicts it. Example: you buy a new car and suddenly notice it everywhere. You believe someone dislikes you, and you notice every tiny sign that proves it. You hold a political opinion, and your algorithm feeds you only ideas that reinforce it. Your brain isn't searching for the truth. It's searching for comfort. This bias is one of the main reasons relationships break down, arguments escalate, and entire societies polarize. Bias number 2, anchoring bias. Have you ever bought something on sale because the original price looked high? That number, even if meaningless, becomes an anchor. Your brain compares everything to it. First impressions act the same way. Your first piece of information becomes the reference point for all future information. It's why you decide someone is trustworthy or dangerous within seconds. And it's why first impressions are almost impossible to undo. Your brain anchors because thinking deeply requires effort. And the brain is allergic to unnecessary effort. Bias number 3, the availability heuristic. Your brain assumes that whatever is easiest to recall is more important, more common, or more dangerous. Shark attacks are incredibly rare. But because news stories of shark attacks are vivid and dramatic, your brain overestimates the danger. Meanwhile, heart disease, quiet, invisible, feels less urgent, even though it kills far more people. This bias fuels fear, superstition, sensational news, and emotional decision-making. You think your judgment is rational, but your brain is simply recalling whatever was most recent or most dramatic. Bias number 4, the halo effect. When someone has one positive quality, your brain automatically assigns them many more. Attractive people are judged as more kind, more intelligent, more honest, even though there is nothing to prove that they are. Confident people are assumed to be competent, even when they're not. A good first impression can make you ignore red flags for months or years. This is why charisma beats competence, which is why the most charismatic politicians usually win the elections. This is why charm beats skill, Ever wonder why some people who appear to be incompetent at their jobs are the boss's favorites? The halo effect is the reason why your brain often falls in love with illusions. Bias number 5, the Dunning-Kruger effect. The less you know about something, the more confident you feel that you understand it. This bias has been one of the fastest growing in our society today. This is especially evident now in the way people behave around and understand politics, science, research, and medicine. It's a cognitive trap. It can work in two ways. Beginners who just discovered their new field don't know enough to recognize their own ignorance. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, many experts know so much they underestimate themselves. This leads to overconfidence, poor decisions, unexpected failures, inflated self-belief, and the illusion of understanding. This bias silently controls leadership, workplaces, politics, and even your personal life. Bias number 6, loss aversion. Your brain hates losing twice as much as it likes winning. The pain of losing $50 is psychologically stronger than the joy of gaining $50. This single bias explains why people stay in unhappy relationships, why investors panic sell, why people cling to bad habits, why change feels threatening, why taking risks feels painful. Your brain has evolved to avoid danger, not to pursue opportunity. Bias number 7, the spotlight effect. You believe people are noticing you far more than they actually are. Your brain imagines a spotlight on you. Every decision, every mistake, every flaw feels magnified. Teens and young people often fall into the trap of this bias. But the truth, people are too busy thinking about themselves to notice you. The spotlight is an illusion. However, it is a very powerful one and often leads to crippling one's self-esteem. Bias number 8, the sunk cost fallacy. Your brain struggles to walk away from something you've invested in. Time, money, effort, emotion. Even when leaving is the smartest choice, your brain says, "I've come too far to quit." This bias keeps people stuck. In careers, in relationships, in projects, in debt, and in unhealthy habits. Some examples include: you continue to watch a movie you dislike because you already paid for the ticket and don't want to feel like you've wasted the money. You keep reading a book you hate because you've already spent time reading the first few chapters. A company continues to fund a failing project because they've already spent millions on it, rather than reallocating that money to more promising ventures. You remain in an unhappy relationship because you've been together for a long time, even though it no longer serves your needs. The past becomes a prison, and your brain locks the door. Bias number 9, the optimism bias. Your brain naturally believes that bad things happen to other people, but you are safe. It's a survival mechanism. Without optimism, humans would fear taking action, exploring, or risking failure. But optimism can also distort reality by underestimating danger, overestimating ability, ignoring warning signs, and risking more than you should. Some examples include: a person opening a new business may believe they have a 0% chance of failure, even if they know that statistically, half of all startups fail within a few years. People often buy lottery tickets because they genuinely believe they have a better chance of winning than others, despite the extremely low odds. Someone may skip annual medical checkups or fail to get recommended screenings, like mammograms or cancer screenings, because they feel healthy and believe they are unlikely to fall ill. Users might download files from unsecured or sketchy websites, assuming they will not get a virus because they haven't in the past, thus failing to take basic security measures. Optimism is both a superpower and a blindfold. Bias number 10, the fundamental attribution error. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you think, they're a bad person. When you cut someone off, you think, I had a good reason, I'm not usually like this. A colleague doesn't meet a deadline. You might attribute this to them being unorganized or a poor performer, rather than considering they may have been given conflicting priorities or lacked necessary resources. Seeing someone trip and fall, you might label them as clumsy, ignoring the possibility that they tripped over a loose cable or uneven pavement. Your brain judges others by their actions, but judges you by your intentions. This bias ruins relationships, fuels misunderstandings, and creates conflict. It's not that people are good or bad. It's that our brains interpret behavior through different lenses. The hidden cost of biases. These biases shape what you believe, who you trust, what you fear, what you remember, what you ignore, and who you become. Your life is not shaped by reality. It is shaped by the lens your brain uses to interpret reality, or your perception of that reality. And unless you know the lens is there, you'll never question what you're seeing. Can you overcome bias? You can't eliminate cognitive biases, but you can weaken them. Here's how. Slow down decisions because bias thrives in speed. Seek disconfirming information because your brain avoids it instinctively. Write down your decisions instead of thinking them because writing forces logic. Ask yourself this question: what would I think if someone else did this? Avoids attribution error. Assume you're biased by default. Awareness is the antidote. If invisible biases shape everything you think, feel, and believe, the real question is not, am I biased? It's, which bias is shaping me right now? Your mind is powerful, but it is not always honest. And understanding it is the first step to taking back control. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden mechanics of the mind, wait until you see what your brain does when it believes you're in danger, even when you're completely safe. Subscribe for more educational content.